your retirement plan ready for the long haul? Get a second opinion today from Phillis Just call 623-792-5496. That's 623-792-5496.
What is essential when times are good, bad, and ugly? What can we do to bring calm amidst the storm? Well, that's exactly what Phyllis is going to talk about today, creating calm amidst the storm. Thanks for joining us on Retire Financially Fit with Phyllis Sachs-Pilvinus. I am Jen Rezac alongside. Today, we're going to take you through the process of the Retire Fit analysis, the entire Retire Fit analysis process, so you can learn what this looks like and how you can take control of certain areas of your money no matter what storms are raging outside. Because boy, Phyllis, it seems like storms, financial storms, all of it, political storms, they continue to rage on. But there are some things that we can do about it, right?
Yeah, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. If you've done the heavy lifting and you've saved, if you're close to retirement or you're already retired, if you truly have a plan, and we have our proprietary process that takes you through the 5 essential steps, walks you through it so that you can see that you have a plan. If you have that, you're good. So let's focus on controlling what you can control. The issue is so very often, whether you've saved a lot or you haven't saved so much, if you don't have a plan, if you just have a pile of investments, where you can get into trouble. You know, I meet people who don't know if they've saved a lot.
Right,
and they don't know if they have enough because they don't have a process to take them through to see it verifiable. And once we've gone through that process and they know, yes, I've got all these things in place, well, then they can go on and have a happy retirement. Or I've seen people who, think that they've saved enough because they've hit the magic number. But then when we walk through the process, they really, for their lifestyle, they're not in good shape. Yeah. So what I want to say is, with the process, if we walk through that Retire Fit process, if you have all those pieces of the retirement puzzle in place, no matter what's going to happen, you can maintain a lifestyle that you've worked hard for. Now, I'm not Houdini. You've got to have done some of the heavy lifting and accumulated some money to be in that shape. But if you're close to retirement, or if you're already retired and you don't have a retirement plan, or you think you might, you're not sure, you want a first or a second opinion, let's walk through the Retire Fit analysis process, 623-792-5496. Stay tuned today because we're going to go through all of those pieces, what they are, why you need them, and how that can give you the control no matter what's happening around you. 623-792-5496. Let's get started.
That's right. And I do want to get started going through the process because I do think it's what a lot of people need to know, what this looks like. And really, Phyllis, when you talk about those people who have done a good job saving, really, when we talk about this process and we talk about some of the things that you help people do, it's about helping them protect what they've saved, because just doing a good job saving isn't enough to get you through retirement. And I think that's true whether times are good, bad, or ugly. Even in good times, you have to make sure that you're protecting what you've saved so it'll last.
Oh, absolutely. I've seen it all over the years. Now, this is not my first rodeo.
No.
I've seen people who saved a ton of money and then they get wiped out with like in the 2008s of the world, right? I've seen it all the way back to the tech wreck. Actually, I saw it in 87. I've seen it. So even if you've saved enough, that's 100% correct. It's got to be in the right places, doing the right things, and you've got to have control and understand what you can control and what you need to control, because what you've done in that first stage of life, it's important, working and saving and being disciplined and putting it away. But once the paycheck goes away, everything changes. It's no longer about doubling or tripling your money. It's about keeping it in the right places, assigning the right jobs to your money, and make sure that you understand what you could be faced with and have a real easy plan. And it doesn't have to be complex and difficult. It really doesn't. It's not rocket science, but it's just understanding what could come along and how you can make sure that you've protected yourself from those hazards.
Absolutely. So let's start going through this, Phyllis. I guess first, just give us a quick outline of what the components are of the process, and then we'll take it one piece at a time. But generally, what are a big quick overview of what your process is?
So down and dirty, you need an income plan, a simple income plan, where you know how much money you're going to need. So you need a good budget, right? Mm-hmm. Good, realistic budget. How much you're going to need? Where is that money going to come from? When is it going to come in? How much is going to come in? And how are you going to get raises to keep up with inflation? In retirement, without income, even when you're working, okay? If you don't have good income, you don't have a good lifestyle. So income, okay? An investment plan. You need an investment plan. Understand how much risk you're taking. You don't want to take too much. You don't want to take too little. So you have to understand how much risk you're actually taking and build the appropriate investment strategy to handle that. Okay? So that's really essential to make sure you have that right. Tax strategy. Hey, whether taxes go up or taxes go down, you need to understand, how you're taxed, how much you're going to be taxed now, how much you're going to be taxed in the future. Because bottom line is it's not how much you make, it is how much you keep. That absolutely matters. How much do you keep? We want to make sure that we understand our tax liability today in the future so that you don't pay more than you legally or ethically are supposed to pay. Okay. Mm-hmm. And of course you need a healthcare strategy. You need to understand, what's it going to cost for Medicare? Understand that system. Understand, with your income, are you going to be charged more for Medicare Part B? What are Medicare supplements? What's the difference? And here's the big one. If later on in life, you, or if you're married, your spouse needs custodial care, what's actually paid for under your healthcare system? It's a lot less than most people think. So if you need to come out of pocket, how can you leverage your own money to pay for that? What are the costs? Very, very important. Estate and inheritance plan. Make sure that after all the years of hard work, what you've accumulated, that if you need someone to make decisions for you while you're alive, you have the right powers of attorney so your spouse can act on your behalf for your retirement accounts. Without powers of attorney, they can't. Most people don't know this. Your kids can step in and help make the right decisions. And ultimately, when you pass, your hard-earned money goes to whom you want it to go to without untimely delays and without too much ending up into Uncle Sam's pocket versus your loved ones, your churches, your charities. Simple. All those pieces, if you've got a plan for those, a simple plan, you are in charge of your retirement, whether it's good, bad, or ugly. So call us. Let's get started. 623-792-5496. We'll walk you through each of these steps so that you can make sure that you're in charge of your retirement. 623-792-5496.
Talking today with Phyllis Sachs-Pilvinus. She's founder and president of PSP and Associates. I'm Jen Rezac alongside, and I think we just need to circle back to the fact that that is the good news right there, Phyllis. When you talk about the things that we can control, I feel like so often lately, so much has felt out of our control. We feel like we're just at the mercy of whatever happens with the markets, with whatever happens with taxes, with all of it. But what you're telling us is when we go through the process and we learn a little bit more about what we can control, there are areas where we do have a little bit more say in what happens after all. Even with things like taxes, even though we're not the ones who make those decisions as to what's going to be happening with tax policy, and we certainly don't have any control over what happens with the markets, there are things that we can do, and that's the big overlying positive message in today's show.
Absolutely. I want to scream it from the rooftop. I've been doing this for years, and that's been my message. But now, especially where there's so much, I hate to say it, doom and gloom, if you will. Mm-hmm. So much that we're preoccupied about, whether it be the virus or whether it be the future tax laws or whether it be, who's got the three chambers of government.
Right.
All of that. But the bottom line is, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I wrote the book, Creating Calm Amidst the Storm. If you can check off the boxes on those 5 essential pieces of the plan, if you can check them off, no matter what's happening around you, you can have that retirement that you've worked hard for. Of course, you've got to have done the savings and you've got to check off the boxes. And it's not that complicated. We'll walk you through the entire process, checking off the boxes. And here's the cool thing. Okay, you pick up the phone, you call us, you either get on a Zoom with us or you get on a phone call or you come in face to face, however you want to do it. We're totally prepared to do it. No obligation to walk through the process. I don't know how anybody can make a decision about, whether we're a good fit or whether I can help you or not until we've walked through the process to see where you are in the whole continuum. And you have the facts to be able to make a well-educated decision. So it's totally complimentary. 623-792-5496. Let's take back that control. Mm-hmm. Let's be confident. And maybe other things will fall into place.
That's right. And the other thing I want to point out as well, when you go through this process, just real quickly here, Phyllis, because we don't have a ton of time before our first break, it can serve as a second opinion also, because there might be decisions that you're thinking about making, or there might be moves that you might be thinking about making with your money. So going through this process can serve as that second opinion to make sure that the decision you were going to make was the right one, or maybe it wasn't. So that's another layer of all of this as well.
That's such a good point. What the overall process does is pressure test your decisions. So, we can show somebody right in front of them, right on our big screen, okay, what is the best time to take Social Security by plugging in the different options. We can tell somebody in real time, hey, if you go ahead and you buy that second home, here's the outcome. Here's how long your money is going to last. Or, we can tell somebody, if you take your money from your retirement account, here's your tax outcome. Yeah, absolutely. So whether it's a first opinion or a second opinion, let's do it. Let's get it done.
623-792-5496 is that number again, 623-792-5496. This is Retire Financially Fit with Phyllis. We'll be back.
Why choose PSP & Associates to handle your retirement? Because we provide objective advice and concierge service. Investments, insurance, retirement planning, all at one location. We also partner with qualified attorneys and CPAs to provide complete financial strategies for our clients. We use a variety of investment and insurance products to custom design retirement plans that can give clients a clear look at their future. And we help you stay on the path toward financial independence. If you don't want to do it yourself and want to work with a team to create a financial strategy for your future, give us a call, 623-792-5496. That's 623-792-5496. Would you rather get retirement advice from some TV show host who doesn't know anything about you, or PSP & Associates? 623-792-5496. PSP is a registered investment advisory firm. Phillis Sachs-Pilvinus is an investment advisor representative and insurance professional. Investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal.
Thanks for joining us today. This is Retire Financially Fit with Phyllis. I am Jen Rezac, happy to be here alongside Phillis Sachs-Pilvinus. She is founder and president of PSP & Associates. She is author of the book, Creating Calm Amidst the Storm, and that's exactly what her process is designed to help us do. Take back control, areas that we can control, create calm amidst the storm, because when it comes to politics, when it comes to the markets, when it comes to our world, there are a lot of storms raging out there, and we are trying to create that calm today. And Phyllis, I got to say, you are fired up today about helping us understand these things.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I always have the passion about it, but with everything going on, I'm meeting people who just feel like, I don't know what end is up. So I don't mean to be pushy about my process, and I don't know if we're a good fit, but I do know this. I can walk you through it, and we could decide later on if it's a good fit and whether I can help you. But you're going to leave with great information that you need right now. And if it's just a confirmation that you've done everything right, That's terrific. I was going to say we're going to shake hands, but today we can't. Okay, we'll elbow bump,
There you
and
go.
you'll go on your way. We part friends. But if I can help you, wow, that's even more fantastic because you've worked hard, you've done the right things, and you're so close. If you just have that plan, you're probably a lot better off than you may think. And if you're not, you need to know that as well. That's why I'm on fire with all this craziness going on. There is that plan that can give you that calm amidst the storm. I know it, and I want to share it with you. I really do. And today we're going to break it down, and we're going to show you high level what's so important, and take it from there.
That's right. And so going through the entire retire financially fit analysis process is what we're doing here on the show today. And one of the first components of this, Phyllis, is income. We have to start with that because without income, there's no retirement. If you can't afford to do the things, if you don't have money to pay for anything in retirement, you don't have a retirement. So, and of course, income comes from a different place. During your working years, you get that paycheck. It's direct deposit. It's a check, however that works every couple of weeks. But for whatever reason, they stop doing that when you get to retirement. So what do we do? How do we cover that piece?
Okay, so first, you really want to understand what your spending habits are going to be like in retirement. That's important. Eyes wide open is what I always say. What are those fixed expenses that are not going away? And what fixed expenses are going to be affected by inflation? We need to know that. And then what are your discretionary expenses? What are some of the things that you'd love to do, but if you can't, okay. And what are those things that, geez, I would rather not retire now if I can't do those things. I'll work longer or I'll cut something here. Let's get a real working budget that, let's know the numbers and then back into whether or not you can actually achieve all that. But that's essential. And so very often people either underestimate, they don't have a budget, or they underestimate what they're going to spend, or they think they can spend more than they actually can. So we start there. And then the income plan is we've got to look at, what are those reliable fixed sources of income? So Social Security, what are the different ways that we can claim it? Based upon the whole picture, how does that all play out? So if one spouse, if you're married again, one takes it early and one takes it later, how does that affect your outcome? What are the different claiming strategies? What's best for you? If you have a pension, we want to go through all the pros and cons and strings attached and the impact of taking that pension in different ways. If you have rental income, we want to look at what's the likelihood that you want to keep this property. Does it make sense for you to be a landlord? How much are you actually putting in your pocket? What are those reliable sources of income? Is there a gap? If there is a gap, how much of a gap is that? How's that going to be affected by inflation? And then let's lay out all the different ways that we can make up that gap so that you have a reliable income plan, whether the market's up, down, or sideways. I don't believe that an income plan is as simple as, okay, I got $1 million, I need $40,000 a year, I'll just take out 4% a year and factor that for inflation each year, and I'm golden. Because if all of a sudden the market goes down 20%, you ain't so golden. Or if interest rates go way up, if inflation goes way up, you're not so golden. Or if you have to pull money out or you lose income because the spouse passes away or taxes go up, you're not so golden. So that's called the 4% rule that, so many people, so many advisors tell you is all you need to do for an income plan. No. So our income plan is this. We're going to look at all of what your budget is. We're going to look at all of your reliable sources of income. We're going to find the delta, the difference. And then we're going to build an income plan that shows you how much you're going to get, where you're going to get it, when it's going to start, and how you're going to get your raises. And you know what? It's going to be written, simple, right in front of you, a couple of pages that you can understand. It's not some gobbledygook or some magic formula. Simple, written income plan. That's what you need to get to and through retirement successfully. Pick up the phone and call us. 623-792-5496. Again, 623-792-5496. Hey, we can start with a simple 15-minute call where you and I just chat about what this really is, what this could mean for you. Or you can be bold and say, yeah, I want to just jump right in. Come on in. We're all masked up. We're all sanitary. We're ready to do that. Or let's hop on a phone call or a Zoom and do our first meeting. However you're comfortable. But let's get started. 623-792-5496. And Jen, you're right. You're right. I'm on fire about this because you worked your entire life with a good, simple, written income plan. You can live that life independently on your own terms if you've saved the money. And it's just a matter of putting that plan in place.
That's right. 623-792-5496 is that number. Again, one more time, 623-792-5496. And Phyllis, talking today with Phillis Sachs-Pilvinus. She's founder and president of PSP and Associates. And you said something a few moments ago when you talked a little bit about, we were talking about income, and you did mention something about making sure that your spouse will still have income. That's another part of this as well that we don't always like to think about, but it's the fact that most likely we will not both go at the same time. If you're married, chances are one of you will outlive the other in retirement, and as hard as it is to think about, making sure that the one who outlives you, or if you are the one who might live longer, whoever lives longer has to make sure that they can still pay the bills when something happens to the other one. And that's something that we don't always understand, that we can put that plan in place to make sure that happens, right?
Oh, Jen, if I had a nickel, that's such a good point. If I had a nickel for every time somebody said and they love their spouse, they've been married a long time usually, my spouse doesn't have to worry. I've got this money in my retirement account.
Or I have this life insurance and all of it. Right.
Yeah. And sure, they lose the Social Security, the smaller one, but the bills go down. No, they usually don't. And here's the thing, I can tell you that, or I can show you that, because our process will put the real numbers in there and show you the likely outcome of what's going to happen when the smaller Social Security goes away. And you also lose a standard deduction because you're a single taxpayer, and tax rates are less favorable for you because you're a single taxpayer, and you still have to take out your required minimum distribution and get taxed on it. I can show you the real actual outcome. We can pressure test it, if you will. And that's so different than what we think in theory. And that's the whole point of going through a process like this. It takes theory and puts it into reality. Mm-hmm. Real numbers, verifiable, your numbers, and we can play the what if game. What if this happens? What if that happens? What's the outcome look like? And then you can make some very well-informed decisions. I'm going to tell you that one of the biggest reasons so many retirees, and it's usually the wife, the widow, they're afraid about outliving their money is because they didn't think about spousal replacement. Not that they didn't care. Mm-hmm, but they thought about it in theory and they didn't think about it in fact. And that's what our process will take you through, the actual realities. Right there, right in front of you, up on the screen or through the computer on Zoom, whatever it looks like, real numbers, verified, your numbers, so that you can really see if you have an income plan that's going to be there for the good, the bad, the ugly. Because believe me, those things are being thrown in our face right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you want to get started, 623-792-5496. We'll take you through the process. The first step is let's get the budget right. There's a lot of things that you think, geez, budgets are no fun, and yeah, I know all that. When we really start talking about it, it looks a little bit different. That takes a little while, and it's very helpful when you've gone through the process. And then we'll look at what your income needs to be in retirement. We'll analyze your reliable sources. We'll look for that deficit, and we'll put together a written simple income plan. Where's your money going to come from? When will it start? How will you get raises? Simple, not in some gobbledygook. All starts with the Retire Fit analysis process. 623-792-5496.
Talking today with Phillis Sachs-Pilvinus. She is founder and president of PSP and Associates. Let me give you that number one more time. 623-792-5496. You can also go to the website if you want to learn a little bit more about Phillis and the book. You can even hear some of our other episodes of the show. Retirewithpsp.com is the way you can do that. Again, that is retirewithpsp.com. Today, Phillis is taking us through her process step by step so we can learn about what we can control when times are good, bad, and even when times are ugly. We're going to pick this up on the other side of the break and keep going through the Retire Financially Fit process. That's coming up in just a moment. Stay with us. We'll be back. Thanks for joining us today. This is Retire Financially Fit with Phillis. I am Jen Rezac, happy to be here today alongside Phillis Sachs-Pilvinus. She is founder and president of PSP and Associates, author of the book Creating Calm Amidst the Storm, and we have seen so many different storms rage over the past few weeks and months, and just understanding how we can create a plan that helps us create that calm amidst the storm is what we're focusing on today. We call it the Retire Fit analysis. And going through that process, what it involves is, let me just do a quick recap, and then Phyllis, we're gonna get back into this here, but it starts with having that income plan, and this is something that you need to understand what's going on with your budget. You need to understand what those sources of income are. You need to make sure that it is factored in for inflation and things like that, because things are going to keep getting more expensive down the road. All of that goes into that income piece, making sure that it is reliable, it's steady, and it's there as long as you need it to be there. The next part of this, which we're about to get into, is the investment strategy. So I'm going to hold off on expanding on that because I know we're going to get into that here in just a second. And then the other pieces of the Retire Fit analysis also include a tax strategy. So you are paying your fair share, but not more than that. And that's something that's going to become even more important here in the upcoming years, as we know that tax policy is not going to stay where it currently is. Healthcare plan to help you deal with healthcare costs and long-term care, and also an estate and legacy strategy. So all of that goes into your Retire Fit analysis. Phyllis, let's circle back to that investment strategy. Talk a little bit about what goes into this and how is it different in retirement versus how you might be invested during your working years?
So when you're young, so to start with, what's the difference? Well, when you're young and you have the cash flow, the income plan coming in, which is your paycheck, the money that you're saving for the long term to replace your paycheck, with time on your side, it's about growing it. Mm-hmm. It's about growing it. And you're not as concerned with the bumps in the road. Nobody likes it when the market drops and all of a sudden you look at your portfolio and it's like disappearing ink. It went down. But I remind people that, okay, well, just keep buying in. That's dollar cost averaging. You'll buy in shares at a lower price, and with time on your side, market always comes back. That's your investment strategy when you're working. Of course, there are things that you can do to make it perform better, understand your costs and the fees and all of that good stuff. But by and large, be a disciplined saver and go for growth. That's the first stage of your money. But when you retire, or when you're close to retirement, what you have is going to do something entirely different. Some of it's got to be income. Some of it's got to be income now. Some of it's got to be income soon. Some of it's got to be income later. Some of it's got to be an emergency fund. Some of it's got to be, home run money, legacy money. Your money all has different jobs and different times. So for an investment strategy, the investment plan, if you will, is identifying what we need pieces of the money to do and understand, number one, what is your risk tolerance? Mm-hmm. I've met very wealthy people who've worked hard for their money, and even though they could take more risk, they don't want to see that money go down. Mm-hmm. They would lose it. They would not be able to enjoy retirement if it went down more than, let's say, 10 or 15%. So we've got to understand, because retirement should be about enjoyment. You've done the heavy lifting. Let's make sure we enjoy it. So it's part of it. The investment strategy is understanding risk tolerance, your personal risk tolerance. Now, sometimes you think you have an appetite for more risk than you should take.
Right.
Because you're comfortable with it until you see that, boy, you haven't saved enough. And going for the home run is going to leave you in a cardboard box under the I-10 if you lose too much.
Gosh, yeah.
So we want to understand the risk tolerance, your personal risk tolerance, and then we want to match that up with how much risk you should actually be taking to support your lifestyle in retirement. So risk analysis, personal assessment, and actual analysis for how much you can really withstand. And there's a couple things. You don't want too much risk. Okay, you don't want it to wipe out your retirement because things we never thought could happen. And you don't want to take too little risk. And today, gosh, every storm that you could have coming at you is kind of coming at you, right?
Yeah.
Right now, the market's really good. Maybe not, right? But interest rates are so historically low.
Yeah. Right.
That you can't go to the bank anymore and get a 5% CD. You can't go to an insurance company and get a fixed rate annuity for 5%. So we got to make sure that we don't have too much money safe, earning not enough either, because inflation never sleeps. So we want to understand what the purpose is of our money, lay it all out. Once you understand that, we understand what we need the money to do, we make sure that we have an investment strategy that supports your goals. And as you said before, money that's going to last as long as you need it to. And if you're married, for both lives. Very, very important to get that investment strategy correct. It can't earn too little, because inflation never sleeps. And if you go for the gusto and you take on too much risk, it could be wiped out. So the appropriate amount of risk laid out loud and clear in front of you. And again, as part of our proprietary process, the Retire Fit analysis, we're going to look at your risk tolerance. We're going to look at what's appropriate risk for you. We're going to show you how much risk you're actually taking. How, why, where. And then we'll build a plan together if we go to that point, if we're a good fit, to get the investment strategy right, assign the money, the right jobs, and pick out the right tools for it. That's what a solid investment strategy looks like, and that's what's so important. So it all starts, with making sure you have this investment strategy. Let's go through the Retire Fit analysis process. Pick up the phone and call us at 623-792-5496. Again, 623-792-5496. And I want to assure you this. I know maybe I'm coming off strong today. I want you to do this process. There's no obligation. Truly, there's no obligation. And there's no cost. Well, there is a cost. Your time and your energy to come see me and sit down and get financially naked, if you will. There is that cost. But I don't know if I can help you. I don't know if you need my help. And quite frankly, you don't know if you want my help. So I can tell you this. I can't think of any times right off the top of my head. I'm sure there's a couple where I didn't show somebody something that they didn't already know, whether it was a confirmation. So going through the process will only either give you confidence in what you're doing, or it will expose areas that you need to address, whether it's with me or somebody else. So I believe that for the time we spend together, you're going to be better off. There's nothing to lose. I don't know why you wouldn't do it. 623-792-5496. And one more thing about that. Remember, these are crazy times today. Maybe you just want to hop on my calendar. You can go onto my website or call the office, get on my calendar right through the website. Maybe you want to just get on the phone for 15 minutes to talk about this personally. That's great. I'll answer other questions that you have. We'll chat and see where we go from there. Or maybe you want to do this, over the phone or Zoom meeting. We've got the total capabilities. Maybe you're a face-to-face person. I can promise you that we have all of the precautions in order. You'll see that when you come in. So however you want to do it, don't let anything that's going on stop you from taking control of what you can do, what you can take control of. So again, pick up the phone to get started. 623-792-5496. Again, first piece, we need a solid income plan, because without income in retirement, there is no retirement, as you said, Jen. Mm-hmm. And then we need the appropriate customized investment strategy, not the one your neighbor has, but the one you need for your lifestyle, your investment strategy. That's the second piece.
Talking today with Phillis Sachs-Pilvinus. She's founder and president of PSP and Associates. And Phillis, I just have to comment real quickly before we go to our next break on that notion that you said. It always catches my attention that we have to get comfortable enough to get financially naked when it comes to all of this, especially with that investment strategy. It's very vulnerable, but you have to know really what you're comfortable with, and as far as the risk that you could be taking, and really what's going on. And a lot of people, they do avoid that. They turn from that, but it's important if you want to get to the bottom of it, right?
Let me use this analogy. It's like going to your doctor and saying to your doctor, "Doctor, I have a pain," and the doctor says, "Where?" And you say, "Guess." It's the same thing. Right. When you only give part of the pieces, part of the information. That's why, if you really want to pressure test your retirement, make sure that things are on track and see it for yourself. You've got to expose everything. And it seems a little bit awkward. I get it, but it's all confidential. And don't forget, this is what I do all day, every day. This is our niche. We focus on getting people to and through retirement successfully. So it's not my first rodeo.
623-792-5496 is that number again to get started going through the process. Phyllis outlined earlier there are all different ways that you can connect with her virtually, in person, on the phone. Just pick up the phone and get started with that quick 15-minute first consultation. 623-792-5496. We'll be back on the other side of the break. Stay with us.
Why choose PSP and Associates to handle your retirement? Because we provide objective advice and concierge service. Investments, insurance, retirement planning, all at one location. We also partner with qualified attorneys and CPAs to provide complete financial strategies for our clients. We use a variety of investment and insurance products to custom design retirement plans that can give clients a clear look at their future. And we help you stay on the path toward financial independence. If you don't want to do it yourself, you want to work with a team to create a financial strategy for your future, give us a call, 623-792-5496. That's 623-792-5496. Would you rather get retirement advice from some TV show host who doesn't know anything about you, or PSP and Associates? 623-792-5496. PSP is a registered investment advisory firm. Phillis Sachs-Pilvinus is an investment advisor representative and insurance professional. Investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal.
Is your retirement plan ready for the long haul? Get a second opinion today from Phillis Sachs-Pilvinus. Just call 623-792-5496. That's 623-792-5496.
Thanks for joining us today on Retire Financially Fit with Phyllis. I am Jen Rezac, happy to be here alongside Phillis Sachs-Pilvinus. She is founder and president of PSP and Associates. She is the author of the book, Creating Calm Amidst the Storm, and today she is walking us through the Retire Fit analysis process so we understand just what this looks like and just what we can control so we can create that calm amidst the storm, because the storms are raging. changing, whether it's the markets, whether it's politics, whether it's the future world of taxes. There's a lot going on, but there are things we can do. So just a quick recap of what the pieces are of the Retire Fit analysis process. And let me just throw out the phone number as I go through this again. If you do have questions, if something's caught your ear so far and you'd like to jump on the phone with Phillis, just spend 15 minutes or so on the phone, or you can set up a time to talk with her a little bit longer on the phone. You can set up a Zoom call, however you want to do it. 623-792-5496 is that number. One more time, that's 623-792-5496. 5496. The pieces of this process include your income plan. You're going to need to have your budget for what your expenses are going to be in retirement. You've got to factor in inflation into that budget. And then you also need to know what the income sources are, so that money keeps coming in month after month as long as you need it. That's the first piece of it. The investment strategy is where you have to get a little bit uncomfortable. You have to get financially naked to understand exactly what's going on with your money. Where are the pain points? What is it that needs to be addressed? That's part of the investment strategy. You also need to have a tax strategy, so you are paying your fair share, but not more than your fair share. And that's going to become even more important here as we look at the possibility of tax policy changing and taxes going up in the future. So we do want to be mindful of that. And then also your healthcare strategy and having a strategy for estate and legacy planning. So Phyllis, that's kind of a quick overview of what this process looks like. And I think tax strategy is where we are right now, as we've really already spent some time today on the income piece and the investment strategy.
So first I want to say this, Jen, you're hired. You're a new advisor. You got it. You got it.
Man.
You know the plan. You know the plan, but that's exactly right. I mean, you need an income plan, just like your paycheck. You need an investment strategy that supports everything you need your money to do. Okay, not just what you think it should do, but realistically to reach your goals and be able to see it, so that you can make well-informed decisions. Now, taxes, I always scream about taxes. I call it the redheaded stepchild because so many people are concerned about their income, which you should be, and how much money they're making on their investments, which is important too. But they also don't realize that how you take your money out in retirement is really going to give you some control over your taxes. So it's not good enough. There's tax preparation. Tax preparation is, you know what you're going to pay on, when you have your taxes done that year. You have someone do it for you, and they make sure you don't pay too much or too little based upon what you've already done. I'm talking about tax planning, and tax planning can save you tens of thousands of dollars. And if you understand your future tax liability, how things are taxed, what money is always going to be taxed. Each year you're going to get the 1099. And whether you're paying long-term capital gains or short-term capital gains on that. If you understand on your retirement accounts, what you're going to be taxed on later, when and how much. And if you understand your tax never accounts, your tax-free accounts, and what the significance of that is. When you understand all that, and you understand, you can set up a distribution strategy, an income plan, if you will. Take the money out from the right different buckets to control your taxes. So everybody talks about investment diversification, how important it is to have a lot of diversification. Have some stocks, have some bonds, have some this, have some that. We talk about tax diversification. Really, really, really important to understand how different things are taxed and build a plan, put your money in the right tax buckets, if you will, to control when you're taxed and how much you're taxed. That is huge. If you understand your future tax liability, how things are taxed and how much you're going to be taxed later on, you can back into it and really control your taxes to now and later. So the bottom line is, throughout your lifetime, pay a lot less in taxes. And I'm going to say this, whether the government raises taxes really high or low, we can't control that, but we can control, where we take the money from, which will ultimately determine how much you're going to pay. So, for example, the end of last year, the end of every year, we're looking at Roth conversions. We're looking at, we have a plan many years out to know how much we should take from a tax deferred account, pay the taxes on it now, and not pay it again later. Let that money go tax-free. We do tax harvesting. We want to make sure that if you have I did it in my own. Let me just use an example. The end of the year, I didn't, through December, if there was a company that had fallen out of favor that I knew, I could take a loss and then take a gain off of another one. I thought, with the new administration coming in, maybe this stock's not going to be as good next year. Sold off a loss, sold off a gain, and I was tax neutral.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I kept it in my pocket. So
that's what you did at the end of 2020, looking ahead, anticipating the things that would be happening in 2021. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying with tax planning is where we start as part of a retire fit analysis is we want you to understand, as well as us to understand, all the assets that you have. How are they taxed? How are they taxed? Are they taxed always? Are they taxed later? Are they taxed seldom or never? Okay. And are they taxed in what way? Ordinary income? We go through all that. It's not as complex as you may think. We break that down. Once we know that, we look at what your tax liability is today and what it will be later on. And we then, from all of that information that we've garnered, we build a plan that will show you how to pay the least amount of taxes that are due. And you can't do that if all you do is run up to the year, figure out what I'm going to pay this year and don't look at the future. There are a lot of things that you need to consider. What is the impact if one spouse dies early? How much more is the surviving spouse, what's their tax bracket going to look like? We can show you that, back into it, and have a plan so that, taxes don't go way up, taking away most of the income that you thought you had. We also, as part of the retire fit analysis, most people feel that it's more important, if there's any money left, to give it to their loved ones. Maybe it's their churches, maybe it's their charities, maybe it's their children, their grandchildren, then Uncle Sam, who, by the way, is not really their uncle. Right. And it's right now, this kind of got lost in all the turmoil of last year. But with your retirement accounts, the stretch, the ability for your heirs to take distributions out of your retirement accounts over their life expectancy is now gone for most people. Your retirement accounts have to be emptied out within 10 years, which is a lot more in taxes. Uncle Sam is salivating. Okay? Through our retire fit analysis, we help people structure it so that you pay, so that Uncle Sam gets no more than their fair share of their taxes. And your children, your loved ones, keep more of your hard-earned money. Taxes. Redheaded stepchild, if you don't have a tax strategy, you really don't have a retirement plan. Very, very important. By knowing how things are taxed and having a distribution plan that's organized and efficient and goes way out, you really can control whether taxes go way up or not, tax rates go way up or not. You still can have some control because you get to decide where you take your money from in retirement in many ways. So really, really important. Part of our retire fit analysis will break it down for you so that you can see it loud and clear and glaring. That's one of the biggest feedbacks that we get from people. My goodness, my accountant, not that they're not important, but they never showed us this stuff. Mm-hmm. Wow, right. We can really take control here. So pick up the phone, 623-792-5496. Let us at least show you your future tax liability, because we all know taxes are going to go up. they're going up. They're not going down.
Right.
623-792-5496. Let's make sure that you pay no more than your fair share of taxes. And the only way that you really can do that is by understanding your liability today, your future liability, and then setting up a distribution strategy that's tax efficient.
623-792-5496 is that number. Again, that's 623-792-5496. Phyllis, there are still a couple more pieces here, and I know we don't have a ton of time left. But again, we don't want to overlook the healthcare strategy, making sure that you understand just how much healthcare could cost down the road and what the options are to cover that, and your estate and legacy plan, because you don't want to just leave a mess for your family and for your loved ones once you're gone. But Phyllis, let's just talk real quickly on those last two pieces and how your Retire Fit analysis brings it all together.
I got to admit, it's so funny. I forgot about the clock. Okay, I got so excited about taxes. I did.
I know you did.
But healthcare is so important because healthcare costs are going through the roof. Nobody wants to think about it, but really what can really wipe out people who have a good income plan, an investment strategy, worked hard, even if they have a tax strategy, is not having any leverage to cover the costs of a catastrophic illness. And we build that in. We show you the best opportunity for that. And then, as you do tax planning, that helps with legacy planning and having the right documents, which we walk you right through and show you why, in place helps you control any issues that can come along with your estate so that your hard-earned money goes to whom you want it to go to without unnecessary taxes and untimely delays. All part of the process. Everything that we walk through, lay it out so that you can see it crystal clear and make well-informed decisions. Pick up the phone, call us, 623-792-5496. I look forward to taking you through this process to put you back in control.
You've been listening to Retire Financially Fit with Phyllis. Remember that number, 623-792-5496, and be sure to tune in again next time for more insights from Phyllis. I'm Jen Rezac. Thanks for spending some time with us here today. We hope you have a great week. We'll talk to you next time.
Why choose PSP & Associates to handle your retirement? Because we provide objective advice and concierge service. Investments, insurance, retirement planning, all at one location. We also partner with qualified attorneys and CPAs to provide complete financial strategies for our clients. We use a variety of investment and insurance products to custom design retirement plans that can give clients a clear look at their future. And we help you stay on the path toward financial independence. If you don't want to do it yourself, you want to work with a team to create a financial strategy for your future, give us a call, 623-792-5496. That's 623-792-5496. Would you rather get retirement advice from some TV show host who doesn't know anything about you, or PSP & Associates? 623-792-5496. PSP is a registered investment advisory firm. Phillis Sachs-Bildinas is an investment advisor representative and insurance professional. Investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal.
Investment advisory services are offered through PSP Financial Services, LLC, an Arizona registered investment advisor. PSP Financial Services is an independent financial services firm that helps people create retirement strategies using a variety of insurance and investment products. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to safety, security, or guaranteed lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investment products. Insurance and annuity product guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. PSP Financial Services, LLC is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this show shall constitute tax or legal advice. You should talk to a qualified professional before making any decisions about your personal situation. We are not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency. This radio show is a paid placement.